do in the meantime. So when the sheep dry, then I'm going to take this brush and make the hairs, the fur, more shaggy. So you'll see less of that colour. I don't really want the colour to be so dominant as it is right now. I did the tree with a thin layer of quinacrodome rose and oil, which the quinacrodome rose is transparent, so it left the colours underneath nice and visible, while just giving the tree a nice rosy glow. And I think that looks quite pretty. Almond trees are quite small from what I can see. Although I had one in my garden once, and it was quite big, but it was, I don't know, it had a lot of branches, but they were sort of all tangled up together. I could never really tidy the tree up very much. And it was low down in my garden, so I couldn't really get to it. But it's, yeah, depending on how you looked at it, you could say it was a short, sort of low or short tree, not a tall tree. So, and from looking at photos of almond trees, they do all look quite short, not very tall trees, but with a lot of branches and a lot of flowers. And yeah, I'm not doing so well here. Anyway, so that's how I'm going to proceed, and then after that I'll add some little pink centers to these almond blossoms, and then I'll add some grass to around the sheep, and some small bushes, some shrubbery, and then last of all I'll add their facial features, because the paint is too wet to do anything with that right now. I waited for the painting to dry overnight. I've added a lot more almond blossoms. So that is now step 7. Now I'm coming back to the sheep and adding more woolly layers to their wool. As it's not, I'm not happy with the way it is. So what I'm going to do is just take the white, and with a small round brush, which I used on the almond trees, which made the almond blossoms look better, I'm just taking the paint down like this. I might have to move it again with the filbert brush, but the filbert brush just wasn't giving me the look I wanted. And I don't want to cover the colours underneath completely, but I do want more sort of a more shaggy, woolly look. And interesting fact I learned about sheep, for those who are interested in knowing their subjects, they don't have round eyes, round pupils like humans or like other animals. Well, like cats have slit pupils. Sheep and goats and deer as well apparently have rectangular pupils, and their eyes are situated very much on the side of their heads, so that they have 360-degree vision, which I thought was really interesting, how nature helps them to compensate for their other weaknesses. So I just thought that's an interesting fact. And there's a sheep called the painted desert sheep. It has a lovely mixed sort of colour wool, and a lot of sort of burnt sienna type of colours, and I just thought that was an interesting. I didn't know that they were such sheep. I mean, one generally has the idea of merino sheep, which are like these, which are very white and woolly, and other English sheep. But painted desert sheep, well, these are not quite the same colours as the painted desert sheep, but they're definitely kind of closer to the painted desert than to the general merino, with all the colours reflected from the surroundings. And I just think that the colours make a more interesting looking sheep. If I was just to paint sort of off-white, yellow, slightly brownish. So that's what I'll continue doing and see if it improves the look. It's taking me a long time, but I'm getting the results I want. I think the sheep look much better now that they have a more shaggy layer on. And I'm still busy with the lamb because he's taking me much longer. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And so that's the lamb we all know from our nursery school days. So I'm making the lamb a little whiter than the adult sheep because its fleece is what makes it recognizable as a lamb. And so a little less colorful. But the colors are still there. Just the white is more of a pure white. And so I think I need to do something about his face. I don't like his face as it is at the moment. And the eyes, although they have rectangular pupils, I mean, if you look at photos of sheep, you will not see that. In my cat's paintings, I did a lot of detail in the eyes because the eyes were close up, but these are not close up eyes. So even if I put a slight black rectangle there, I doubt you're going to see it. Their eyes do come in different colors. Actually, it's interesting. They're mostly brown, but they do come in different shades of brown, and even in yellow and green and hazel and even blue, which is very interesting. But the majority are brown with this rectangular pupil, so quite a different look to the one we imagine, because we never really get that close to sheep. That completes the sheep. I think, well, their fleece anyway, not their eyes. I'm going to put in the rectangular pupils and put the eyes more to the side of the head. Although if they're looking at you from the front, these you're only seeing, this one you're only seeing one. And these are the sides of their heads. So I might just leave them where they are, I'll see. But now I'm doing the bird, and with just the red, I'm starting with this size 3 round brush. I'm going to put the feathers, lay them down this way because I want the point of the brush to be pointing downwards, and it does make a difference how you place the brush. So in fact, I'm going to show you one, but I'm going to pick the canvas up again, put it on my lap to see clearly what I'm doing. It's getting dark now, so where can I put it? Putting it over the green and then dragging it up slightly. And I won't put them right next to each other so that there'll be a bit of contrast with the red underneath. And so you'll see more of a feathery look. I think the bird looks much prettier now. I added some emerald green to his feathers and some cadmium red medium to his upper body, but it's very similar to the pyrrole red, which is underneath. I really needed cadmium red light, which I can't find. So it seems to be okay. I mean, I like the red. It's very pretty. Anyway, so now I'm going to paint some grass with the emerald green around the hoofs of the sheep, just to give more of a meadow look, because the green in the background is very abstract, and it's pretty, but it's not, I'm not into things that I can't actually see. And I was looking at this painting last night in the dark. I just happened to come into this room to see what my cat was doing, and didn't put the light on, and I looked at it, and I thought it looked so lovely in the dark because I could hardly see anything. I could just see the white of the sheep glowing, and but then I realized that that is far from what it actually looks like, and not what I want it to look like. I'm not really into Impressionism because, if this painting was hanging on my wall, it would actually look like an Impressionist painting to me. I wouldn't see what you're seeing now. I wouldn't see even half of it. It would just be a vague blur in the background. And so I don't want that. I want to see detail. And while some people might think it's a pain to paint detail, or it's unimportant, or they just don't like it, I love it. I love it because it's my chance to actually see a bit more of reality than I do otherwise. But of course, I have no idea what other people are seeing, if they're seeing it the same way, or if they like it, unless they comment and tell me what they think. So I'd appreciate if you would, while watching this video, just leave a comment, let me know what you think. And so I'm going to carry on pushing grass wherever I can. With some black on my brush, I'm now going to try and do these rectangular pupils. And then I'll have to change the shape of the eye as well to make it more on the side of the head. And then I'll add the brown in afterwards. So that's that one. And then this one. I mean, please tell me in the comments if you've ever seen a sheep's eyes close up, if you knew that they were, the pupils were rectangular. Because unless you're a farmer, I very much doubt that most people know that. But I wasn't really happy with my fawn's eyes, and now I know why. But really, I can't say that in any of the photos that I looked at that I ever saw a rectangular pupil. It was only when I read about sheep, and in fact I've looked at a lot of sheep, and unless they show a close-up photo of the eyes, you will never see this much detail. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do for that, and then I'll put in the little nose shape, the mouth. That's the side view. And then some more detail into the almond flowers, the red. I've covered most of the background with bits of green grass, and almost done. Step 8 is completed. I guess it was step 8. Adding the final details, adding the eyes. I'm going to just leave them black. I might add some brown afterwards, but for now it's still too wet. And if I do, I might add a photo, but essentially they're going to look the same. Their eyes are small and set on the side, just under the ears. I think the little lamb's ears are a bit too low down, but it's just the way he's bent his head. And that one standing proudly. And I think the bird, the macaw, looks very pretty in his colours. He's very elegant. And the tree that he's in matches him perfectly and brings him, helps him to just radiate this glow. And I like the little almond flowers, and I'm happy with the shagginess of the sheep, with all the colours underneath him, and the multicoloured meadow in the background. I think all contributes to a harmonious and sweet painting of sheep looking at a macaw that's landed in their backyard. And the baby sheep, the baby lamb, is saying to his mother, "Mama, Mama, baby, is that an alien?" And the mother says, "Well, I don't know, my child, but if he is, baby, he's a very sweet one." So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll leave a photo at the end.